My name is Dennis Wall, one and only of Nigeria in FM. And as always, I am here to have conversations with you. Talking for development, yes, but basically ethical, philosophical, and thought-provoking discussions. It's a sunny Thursday. I remember the conversation we had last week about all that you can do with nature's gifts. In this case, the sunlight, for photosynthesis, for drying, for a commercial break shortly. But when we come back, I'll start off with something a lot of us can relate with, especially those of us born within a period of time. So just stay tuned to us, but head on to our social media handles and follow the conversation there. The conversation is effective methods for prevention of immorality among underage, our children. In a bid to prevent our children from getting spoiled, how far is too far? I don't know about your time, but during my time, especially when we had some sort of communal living, what I mean by that is that time when you could have your neighbors look out for your child while you go out and do stuff. You could have your neighbors feed your child and you come back and they say, I don't give them food though. Yeah, that time. I grew up around that time. And there were times when we could hear our neighbors discipline their children. We could hear the utterances that were made. Not be from my house you go spoil. Not be under my eye. I don't go there like this, they look you go there spoil. I go beat that nonsense come out for your head. As soon as na me born you, then they will hit their chest. As far as na me, sometimes they will call their full names. As far as na me, Janice, that is one way born you. You no go there for this my house spoil. They hear me so. And they will beat Grace and Shege Banza. They will, in short, the kind of factory research you will receive. I mean, some parents went to the extreme at the time. Whether they were doing it out of wickedness or that was the only way they thought to do things. The ones that will use koboko. The ones that will use wire. Yes, I have seen wire. The wire they use to wire houses. Those very thick wires. The ones that will insert pepper in genitals. I saw all of those things. The ones that they will say, okay, your eye don't there for road. I think. It's like prostitution is in your eyes, Abi. They will tie the person. They did a lot of things that when we talk about it today now, and we say, what? Your mama did that to you? That was abuse, so. Hey! Your father did that to you? Jesus! Now, wow! And you are still this sane. That must have traumatized you. And even when the children try to admit that, but me, my head, I mean, get coconut head. That's even though, that was, sometimes, it's not only your parents that could punish you. Your neighbors could punish you. And when your parents come back, they tell you, see what your pikin do. Sorry I'm sounding this way. I just want us to relate. See what your pikin do. I do it like this. Say do it correct. Thank you. They tell you thank you for helping them to set their child's head well, even in their absence. So you could actually trust people in a society to help with raising a child. And all of this was centered around my pikin must not spoil. You want the spoiler, B? I go show you. Is it the parents that took their children to barracks, military barracks, to have the soldiers handle them themselves? Because it's like the ones they were doing were not enough. And the soldiers will drill these children, saying you will not spoil. Some of us are grateful for those things because imagine we didn't receive those kind of treatment. By now, who knows what our life would be like? I mean, who knows? We could have turned out better or we could have turned out terrible. Now, who is to say that sometimes those treatments we received or those methods work? Because some of us grew immune to it. Yes, we did. How did we know? How did I know? Sometimes I will go to school and my teachers will like, oh, you came late, stretch out your hand, let me flog you. And I will see my classmates stretch out their hands. And the teacher will flog. And the hands will remain there. And after this child must have received like how many strokes of the cane, the child will now do the hand like this. Ode she in the enter. Hey? I would see the frustration on the teacher's face. And at that point in time, when the pain is no longer felt by the child, what use is the cane? So yes, Odeshi to the hand, Odeshi to the buttocks. Nothing was working. And the class will now hail them, tough guy, tough babe. So you can imagine they must have received several beatings at home. I mean, what you look at their skin, you could see the scars. I mean, sometimes we could tell that this child is stubborn. Barely looking at the child's skin, we could tell that these were cane marks. The ones that left a scar and the ones that were fresh. When they came to school, you go see they don't beat them. The hand will be swollen. Then you will see the... I remember. I really, really remember. Now, some of these treatments extend beyond your child to someone who you perceive as wanting to spoil your child. So I'm disciplining my child. And you want to come and spoil my pikin. You will enter. And they will go as far as disciplining the child that they perceive. So you see that they are warning you to stay clear. They are warning you to avoid the child. They are warning the child to leave you alone. But if the child persists, they will discipline the child. And even go as far as having meeting with the child's parents. All these things were methods our parents explored in trying to ensure that you see immorality You see spoilage. You see that we will not have bright future. We must be upright in life. A 17-year-old boy went through one of the most extreme treatments any human being could go through. Now, what was this child's crime, if you ask me? Walk with me and I'll share it with you. Samuel Onyeme was allegedly beaten and locked inside a dog cage on Sunday after visiting his female classmate at her residence in Asaba, Delta State. According to eyewitness accounts, the incident occurred around 6 p.m. when Samuel went to see his friend, following an invitation. 17 years don't they invite friend come in house. Boy, for that matter. They think they are abroad. They did not know that they are in Nigeria. Me? Did they born me well to have my male classmates come and visit me? Were my female classmates even allowed to come and visit me? Anyway, recounting the ordeal, Samuel's mother, Mrs. Onyeme, described the incident as traumatic. She said, "My son, Samuel, a senior secondary school student, visited his classmate at our house." Why in go in house? Who sent him? While they were talking outside, her father and two brothers attacked him. They were talking outside, just talking outside. They assaulted him on the street, dragged him into their compound, and inflicted serious injuries on him using wooden planks. They then locked him inside a cage. Dog cage! Worse still, they confiscated his mobile phone and lured me to their house under false pretenses. When I arrived, they denied me access to my son for 2 hours. She added that her daughter Jessica was also assaulted when she tried to seek help and re-enter the compound. The situation escalated further when Samuel's elder brother Ben contacted a family friend who alerted a human rights organization. The group in turn mobilized police officers who rescued Samuel around 10 p.m. Human rights activist Victor J, who facilitated the rescue, condemned the act, describing it as barbaric and inhumane. In a petition addressed to the Delta State Commissioner of Police, OJ called for the immediate investigation and prosecution of the girl's father and brothers for crimes including unlawful detention, assault, and attempted murder, as stipulated by Nigerian criminal law, and violence against persons prohibition. Let's stop there. Samuel is currently receiving treatment at Asaba Hospital for the injuries and psychological harm he endured during the incident. Now let's go back to these methods. Was that extreme? I agree. Why did they go that far? What was their real intention? What was the plan? Was it in a bid to show the daughter what will most likely befall any boy that comes close to her, so she knows to avoid boys? More like, in the interest of these boys, if you so much as care about them, this is what will most likely befall them. So if you care about them, you better avoid them. So hurting the boy was hurting her indirectly, like the way we used to see in Nollywood films. Leave my daughter alone, leave my daughter alone. Daddy, I love him. Daddy, I love him. Yeah. Boom. They inflict harm on the guy just to make the girl. I mean, you never knew why the boy was invited, why he even chose to honor the invitation. But then again, he didn't go into their compound. He was outside the gate. And who knows what they were discussing. Let's assume that, okay, it was, you know how they say from clap to dance. Maybe it was the genesis to some immoral acts or activities they were trying to prevent. Was that the best approach? The boy in question was not their direct child. The most they would have done was probably send him away and give him a stern warning. But they chose to do this. The daughter doesn't get any punishment, or there is no account of what the daughter received as punishment for inviting a boy to come and visit her. What can be described as extreme, on one hand, And on the other hand, appropriate measures when it comes to preventing immoral habits among underage or among children, our children, especially those that we have control over, especially those that we can still tell, sit down, and they will sit down. I'm talking about full-grown adults now. The underage, the ones that we are responsible for, the ones that the society will most likely blame us when things go sour. They say, hey now, you don't receive our better own training. They're not trained away for us. I said, train away for us. You don't do like this for our side. Again, I ask, what can be described as extreme and appropriate measures when it comes to preventing more immoral habits among our children? Let's talk. 0817 923 0002 0817 923 0002. We also have 0817 923 0003. Once again, 0817 923 0003. Send us a message on WhatsApp and Telegram. The WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809 0306416. Once again, 0809 0306416. On X, we're at Nigeria Info PH, and our Facebook page remains Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. You can go there, watch us live, but most importantly, be a part of the conversation by dropping your comments in the comment section. And in course of the conversation, of course, I will most definitely read them. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, this is Dominic calling from...
Oh, Dominic, I'm so sorry about that. Dominic, please do well to call back 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. If you're unable to get through to us via the phone lines, how about you send a message on WhatsApp? Or you can also try 0817 923 0003. Once again, 0817 923 0003. Remember, corners and stand by, take your calls first. And before passing on to the studio, when you do call first here, will not be in my, but of course, your name, okay? And in no distant time, you will be connected with us. I'm trying to access our Facebook page. I'm sure when I get hold of I should be able to take comments on Facebook as well. In the meantime, Desire.
Desire,
type your race, please.
Alright, stop my my name is Desire. I hope you understand Pidgin English because what I'm doing.
But you're sounding fine with English language. Why do you feel the need to switch?
This okay. Then it's more vex. You're too unique. Don't think that you everything can think about anything. Too good. Thank you very much. I'm not going to create you. In the bed. Please go straight. TikTok is not the good way to approach. You know, you know, they're starting the people. Happy daughter. Go to a little company battle. They tie up but the opportunity that to evaluate. So for them to for the advise them on it. What kind of relationship education and the other and EPC. So we always talk about it.
Okay. I have other callers waiting. You know, I would expect that when you call, you go straight to the point so as to give other callers ample opportunity or ample time to also air their views. Okay, so everyone who desires to be a part of this conversation, just go straight to the point. 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 003. I wonder why someone is calling the WhatsApp number. I did not air the WhatsApp number to receive calls as far as this conversation is concerned. So please do not call the WhatsApp number. This is what you do. When you call the WhatsApp number, you obstruct things and make it impossible for me to see messages on the WhatsApp platform. Nigerian for good afternoon to you and welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Todd Gon. I'm calling from Woji, Port Harcourt.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to lend a voice to the topic you're talking about.
By all means, go ahead.
Okay, please. I think parents need to be a little bit patient to also understand the angle their children are going before reacting. The story you just mentioned, I think the parents of the girl were a bit too forward. And they reacted too quickly without also understanding the intentions of the two children. They were extreme in the way they handled it. I think if they were patient and they're able to even see the kind of friends their children are keeping, like the girl's father and the brother, if they took time to also let the boy know the kind of person he is, that gives them an idea the kind of persons their daughter and their sister relates with outside. Now, what they did is also to make the girl do things secretly without their knowledge. Okay, so my opinion is we should not be in a haste to make judgments or conclusions when we see young people behave the way they behave. We should study them and know where they're headed to and then make the necessary corrections. That's my input.
Study them. Study them. For how
yes,
long?
Study them.
For how
Allow
long,
your
for
friends'
how long
children
should
to
they
come
be
near
studying?
the house so you can know who they are.
Okay. He says study them, but I'm wondering for how long? Because what if in the period of study something goes wrong and one immoral habit is cultivated, and then that immoral habit becomes a norm? Remember, we're talking prevention. Any Emmanuel says the best way is to train them with the fear of God and also teach them the laws of the land and punishments for defaults. Living in a good neighborhood also helps. You can't compare a child raised in a Jegule and that of GRA. Are we trying to go through that route? Because children can pick things from anywhere. It's not just where they live, where they school, where they worship. There will always be an opportunity for them to relate with people from other areas and other environments and other neighborhoods. Nigerian info. Something is wrong with the phone lines. I see a lot of dropped call scenarios, and I want to sincerely apologize for that. That is why I appeal to you to drop a message for us if you have tried several times to reach us via the phone lines and it's not forthcoming. Nigerian info. Good afternoon to you and welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Joseph Augustine, calling from Madin.
Joseph, you're welcome.
First of all, I condemn the act that man and his son display. It's very terrible. But the aspect I want to talk about is the way the girl. Maybe the girl used to behave somewhere at home that they do not understand. Maybe that's how she behaves. So her parents have been monitoring her. So they try to know what is making her to behave like this. Maybe at home she used to be distracted. So when they find out that this boy is a distraction, they decided to deal with the boy. I know it's not good though. So parents should monitor their children, watch them where they go and where they are supposed to go. Because most of all these teenagers, they want to do things really by their own self. They don't consider the outcome. I know they went too far, but we should watch our children where. Yeah, as a teenager, I know the limit I do things. Sometimes when I want to go far, I will just cool myself. Because the outcome is always detrimental. So that's my goal.
Thank you very much. Nigerian for good afternoon. Good afternoon. What's your name?
Pastor Christian.
Pastor Christian, you're welcome.
All right. What do I understand about this, our children, especially teenagers? Their behavior is somehow. And even when you are teaching them, when you are advising them, you look at all that they are doing nonsense. But even at that, we the parents, we should try as much as we can to advise them, school them, teach them what we know. And of course, if the ones that is necessary for us to flog them, they are big wrong, to correct them and to put them in the correct measure. So that's what I understand. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you too. On Facebook, Godwin Agwanwa says, good afternoon, Denise. Concerning this matter, the most appropriate measure is early training and nurturing, because when the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? So sometimes home training or discipline stops this and makes them know the dangers of a bad habit. What is home training? I think we need to define that at this point. What do you term as home training? Because I hear a lot of people, when they see some people act in a manner, when they see some children exhibiting moral behaviors, they are quick to say this person lacks home training. What indeed is home training? Is it the beatings we receive? Is it the peppers put in our genitals? Is it the conversations or the stern warnings we receive that is classified as home training that should prevent us from doing certain things, whether our parents are there or our parents are not there? Nigerian food, good afternoon.
Hi, Didi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, what's your name?
My name is Muriel from Okrika.
Mira from Okrika, you're welcome.
Thank you. Well, Didi, this is the appropriate time to talk about this. You know, the holidays will soon come, the seasons are here, and before you know, siblings will start going to mixing up, you know. Everybody, holidays, the holidays are here. People will start going to their siblings, their cousins, houses to stay. But we can't stop this. We are Africans with it. You see, before you, sometimes you send your child to stay with their cousins, and then before they come back, before you see your child has started cursing, you know, a word that you've never taught them, but you've never heard from them. Before you know, you start hearing it. It's not as if your sister's children are bad or something. We cannot prevent this thing from happening. So it's just about these habits. They will take it. No matter how hard you try, they will hear it. When they hear it, they will make attempt, you know, to try to say it. Or you shut them down. You have to try as much as you can to try to take out the what they call wheat, a bit from the chaff, a bit from the right. You have to try to sieve it out. But you see, as they are growing up, they must speak all these things either from their siblings, from their neighbors. But you have to try as much as you can to always remove the weeds, you know, from the real plants. You continue to do it. Even when they become adults, you see that we keep doing these things. Because there is no how you got them from their friends, from school, from their relatives. It must happen. But continually, we'll continue to remove the weeds from the main plants we want to grow. That's how it goes. Thank you, Didi.
All right, thank you so much. We have to go on a commercial break. When we come back, conversation continues. Stay tuned to us.